Agenda review and disposition. Anything new to add to tonight's agenda?
Nothing new, Mr. Chairman. I do need the non-public session for 2 co-curricular positions.
Okay, minutes of February 4th, 2019. I entertain a motion to approve as stated.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Privilege of the floor. No, principal's report. Julie.
Right. The winter concert for grades 4 through 8 is always a big night in our community. On February 7th, we had a packed gymnasium full of families and alumni to celebrate our students' accomplishments, from rocking to Sam Cooke with ukuleles and to the beautiful American folk song Shenandoah. Our students' performances reflected practice and persistence and truly delighted the audience. Thank you to Mr. Jake Stevens, our band director, for his dedication to our students. In addition to his direction, it was great to see him on the drums with the jazz band. And thank you to the many classroom teachers who attended to support this important event. They helped with managing students. A special shout out to Mrs. Perkins, our 4th grade teacher, for her beautiful accompaniment for the middle school chorus. And despite a little February weather, we had a tremendous turnout for the PTA luau. In addition to face painting, hulas in the limbo, the raffles were very generous. A special thanks to PTA member Brandon Pike, who coordinated the event. He's coordinated the event for a couple of years now. But I pulled in, I was really surprised. It was one of those nights that people could have stayed in and they were out and about. As you know, we have a really vibrant wellness committee, and recently our committee hosted Dr. Lance O-U-G-H, an optometrist from White Mountain Eye Care and Optical here in Plymouth. He shared an outstanding presentation based on research on screen time and sleep. His perspective as an eye doctor inspired dialogue and a deeper understanding of how the blue light of the screen impacts the brain, impacts sleep and learning. It was a great conversation, and we're looking forward to expanding it with our staff and our students and families. I want to, in addition to thanking Dr. O for his time, I want to thank Chris Valenti, Wellness Committee member, for arranging the presentation. We have a really great group on the committee. We have students, parents, staff who are devoted to student and family well-being. And I thought this was a great opportunity just to let you know that we have a new nurse, Caitlin Pedro, and she's been phenomenal. She's been super knowledgeable. She has great experience, and she's really connected with our community. So we're thrilled to have her. Through a grant with the Squam Lakes Association, our grade 7 students worked with AmeriCorps volunteers and the SLA employees. Students were transported over to the Chamberlain Reynolds Forest over on Squam Lake, and they rotated through a variety of different activities, and there was a big campfire to keep them warm because it was a cold day. Students braved the elements to drill holes in the lake and conduct water quality measurements, as well as had some peaceful time to reflect and draw and write while soaking up some sun on the less windy side of the lake. They also explored the forested shoreline to learn about tree and track identification, winter adaptations of animals, and why forest management is so important to water quality. This was all a continuation of the ecosystem studies that they conducted while at Geneva Point in the fall. It was really a perfect day where the students had fun while conducting field studies. What a better way to learn than hands-on in our local environment, even in the winter. And just wanted to shout out to Jennifer Weatherby, our science teacher, who really did a lot of the coordination with Squam Lakes Association. And last but certainly not least, we had a great last day before vacation. The middle school does their middle school Olympics. They get really excited and they have homeroom teams, and they have names and plans and costumes, and then the teachers have coordinated a number of different great interactive events. What I love, always pushing what we're doing here, is the team wins by how they did with the work habits, our 4 work habits: the collaboration, the preparation, the persistence, perseverance. So with that in mind, this year we wanted to congratulate Mrs. Tanner's homeroom for winning, and Mrs. Stock creates these special medals with cookies. So it was a great positive launch to the break. And every year we open up the gymnasium and we cordon off the volleyball court, and each grade level plays, and we have alumni coming over and from the high school. So it's good energy, good karma and good energy. Just upcoming dates: March 14th, we have Pi Day here. During the day, we're cordoning off some time to do some activities to celebrate some math and academics. And then in the evening, we have the New Hampshire Astronomical Society coming and using Outback to do some activities with families as well. March 20th is Cultural Arts. March 26th, the PTA is hosting Avoid, Deny, Defend. And April 2nd and 3rd, we have our middle school musical performance. So we have a great month.
In April.
April 2nd and 3rd.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
Athletic-wise, almost done with the winter sports, but a lot of nice highlights as we got towards the end. Our last 2 teams were going with the Nordic ski team and the wrestlers. The Nordic ski kids competed on February 18th at the middle school state meet. That's held over at the Sandwich Fairgrounds. There were 21 boys teams and 18 girls teams competing for their schools. So it's a pretty massive event. It's a great day for the kids. Obviously this year we had plenty of snow to race on. The only difficulty for them was it was a little bit windy, and so it was a little tough to skate through the snow squalls from time to time, but they did great. Overall, the boys team finished 10th out of the 21 teams, and the girls finished 3rd overall out of the 18. So nice day for everybody. On the boys' side, Leo Ebner was the top finisher for Plymouth, coming in 13th place. He was followed by Paul Mason, Maddox Lane, Colin Lane, Angel Baker, and Sean Cutshaw for the scoring. The girls' team was led by Addie England, who overall placed 3rd out of a large group of girls. Annie Flynn, Emma Smith, Ellie England, Leah Basson rounded out the scoring. Also skiing hard for the girls' team was Grace Clogston, Kelsey Main, Sasha Wheeler, Isabella Sun, Olivia Menth, Johanna Wakefield. Our 5th grade skiers that competed for the first time in this state meet really did a nice job. On the boys' side, there were only 9 5th grade boys, and on the girls' side, there were only 14 5th graders for the girls that competed overall. And 2 of our skiers, Colin Lane and Ellie England, finished high enough to count as team scores as 5th graders on that day, so they had a great day. So nice job by all of them and the coaches, of course. Our wrestling team members also had strong performances at their state meets. Both of those events are based on the birth date, the age, and the grade level. Novice States was held on Sunday, February 10th at Timberlane High School. PES wrestlers Ben Valente and Emmett Nossaman both took 1st place honors, and Jack Witcher was 3rd. And Anthony Torres went 0-3 on his matches, but all matches were very, very close, as Coach said. So amongst these 4 kids representing us, Plymouth finished 9th out of 28 teams. That's great. The 7th and 8th graders, they competed on Sunday, February 17th at their Meet of Champions, which was held at Kearsarge Middle School. And again, the team finished 9th overall. PES kids saw a lot of action that day. It's a long day. Matt Cleary finished the day at 4-0, earning 1st place honors. Andrew Como took 4th place with a 4-2 record. Mason Lassard finished 5th, again with a 4-2 record. And Caden Sanborn and Jacob Heath also wrestled really tough and went 2-2 on the day and just 1 round away from placing. And rounding out the team efforts were Sawyer McHugh, Nolan Prince, James Phipps, and Frankie McLean, who combined for 10 more matches on the day. So it was a really busy day for those kids. The wrestlers who placed at their state meets are eligible to compete at the New Englands, which are being held this coming weekend, March 9th and 10th, down at St. Anselm's College. And we have 5 of our athletes who are moving on. So good luck this weekend to Matt and Emmett and Ben and Jack and Mason will all be competing this weekend. And again, Zach Stewart, good young coach, has done a great job with these kids. Couple of quick safety updates. Again, I had sat down just before the break with John Francis and Mike Carberry over at the high school just to finalize all the information, all the phone extensions and locations for that work to be completed for them to switch over the wiring over the break. And I just wanted to say thank you and much appreciation goes out to both John Francis and Mike. They do an awful lot behind the scenes for our safety here at Plymouth Elementary, and they're just great to work with. We had a secure classroom drill on February 19th with the help of the Plymouth Police Department. And at that time, our faculty and staff also tested the eLerts app that they have on their smartphones. So that went well. I know Julie touched on the middle school Winter Carnival. And again, it was a lot of fun. I just wanted to give a shout out to a couple of people, definitely Mrs. Stock, who arranges the whole event. It's a lot of work behind that. And Mr. Sheehan and a number of his students took various times during the week to create the broomball field. And they went out and dug about 3 or 4 feet down all around to create actual boards for the game, a smooth playing surface, and a viewing area. So it was really great, and it was a beautiful day outside, so it just looked well and everything went well. Thanks also to Mrs. McManus and Mr. Chamberlain for providing a lot of the sporting equipment for the day. Couldn't do that without them. And of course to all the middle school faculty and staff that jumped in and helped and ran the events and just had great spirit throughout the day. And last thing, spring sports. Maybe. We'll begin Thursday, April 4th, track and field will start, and Monday, April 8th is when baseball and softball will be hoping to get going, and we'll have sign-ups later on this week, and physicals will be offered again on Thursday, April 18th from 9:30 to 11:30 here at our nurse's office. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank
Any
you.
questions? No. Thank you very much. Consent items, claims and payroll, all signed off.
Those are going around.
Correspondence?
There's none, Mr. Chairman.
Discussion items, district meeting prep.
The only new piece of paper you have is the green color, and at the request of the public, the definition for the roof, which is Article 6, was beefed up a little bit so that there are dates and so a little bit of history of the roof. Other than that, all the other materials are exactly the same. There are plenty out at the table, along with town reports for everybody that comes tonight.
Let's see, who's going to do what?
Forgot about this.
Oh, okay. I'm going to take the teacher's contract and the final appropriation.
That's the roof.
I figure on my way out, that's the way to go. Quite frankly.
1 or 2.
Go fish.
The moderator will get folks to read the green sheets so
I'm
that
going to give you guys that.
Thank you. It's sort of a superficial look at the intent of the article. If people have specific questions, board members know, and if not, if it's a question that Julie and I can answer, we'd be happy to do that. So, and Kelly, one of the 3 of us will jump in.
Okay. Date of next meeting?
Yes,
Monday, March 25th?
I'm wondering if the board would be willing to move the meeting up a week from what would be April 1st to Monday, March 25th. I'll be in Washington that day with the presidency class that the principal and I teach. We're coming back that day, but my experience with airlines hasn't been as good as it used to be. So I'm not sure whether I would be here or not. So is it possible to move that up a week?
Doesn't work for me versus out of town.
How do you feel, Mike?
I feel great.
I'm fine with it.
Could we do it?
Any opposers?
week after?
What's that?
Move it. I won't be here.
Oh, no?
The 25th.
I will get you some more dates. How's that? So, and we will certainly have plenty of time to post it.
Would the 8th be on the table, or does that conflict with other meetings
The
that,
8th would be
for the SG?
No, I can check on the 8th.
Okay. The first.
Where's that?
The
That's not
Yeah.
spring break, is it?
the end of the 25th.
No.
Not until the end
Not
of
until the end.
April.
That's April. I knew it was one end of April. I just
We'll
didn't-
check on, Frank, is the 8th all right?
8th works for me.
All
so
right, we'll
far,
check
yeah.
on the 8th.
That's a dangerous one to not be here for. You might
Yes.
be appointed chair.
Yeah, if you missed the meeting.
Yeah, you gotta be careful.
There's a little bit of business. Also, I handed out appropriation sheet and updated revenue sheet. And the appropriation sheet, you can see us going into the hole already. So we're going to freeze up things and see if we can coast on in. There's a lot of encumbrances, and if those encumbrances aren't spent, then that will go back to make that a positive number. But it's going to be tricky because of some of the special ed costs that we're anticipating. So Julie and I met today. There are things that we're definitely going to do because it's part of the curriculum, but other things that we normally do, we won't be doing. And as the money begins to free up at different times, I'll work with John Francis on oil and electric, and then it allows us a bit of flex as we come down the stretch. So we'll try and get as much in as we normally do. It's just we've got to go slowly, carefully.
Okay. Privilege of the floor, too. Anybody else care to speak this evening? An awful quiet crowd. Everybody's rowdy tonight. You ready? I'll entertain a motion to go into non-public session.
So moved.
Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.